When she saw her beloved daughter accidentally killed by someone, she instantly thought of 100 ways to take revenge. But on the day before the murderer's trial, the murderer's lawyer unexpectedly approached the woman. To her surprise, the lawyer directly offered her a stack of cash to change her testimony.
My life.
Belle then realized the lawyer's true intention. The lawyer suddenly noticed the psychiatric medication on the counter, and that became the key breakthrough in the case. On the day of the trial, the lawyer turned the case around. He claimed Belle's testimony was unreliable due to mental illness. He accused Belle of having a mental disorder. At that moment, Belle finally understood that everyone present must have some hidden connection with the murderer, something they didn't want anyone to know. But the worst part was, they actually decided to treat Belle as mentally ill, and planned to send her to the most terrifying asylum. But just as the car door was about to close, Belle noticed an oxygen tank beside her.
Oh.
Belle ran for half an hour until she finally escaped the demon's control. Soon after, Belle completely vanished. Until 5 years later, the police suddenly found 3 men hanging upside down on a Ferris wheel. Each of them had an expression of extreme pain at death, as if they had been tortured brutally, and these 3 dead men turned out to be the murderers of Belle's family. The crime scene was the same place her family had been killed. At that moment, the police finally understood. This was a declaration of war against them all. Belle was no longer the woman who could be bullied.
You don't remember me, do you?
Fuck you! Fuck!
Since everyone in the courtroom had been spared her revenge, Belle made an even more insane decision. Meanwhile, the police had already confirmed Belle was the killer, but when they opened her file, they were shocked speechless by what they saw. She had traveled through 14 countries in 5 years, often appearing in underground arenas and hospitals. Her goal was to master hand-to-hand combat and killing techniques. And within a month of returning home, she had robbed the largest local gun store. Seeing Belle's madness for revenge, the police finally realized the gravity of the situation. But by then, it was far too late. Belle nailed the judge to his desk with steel spikes, then tied him tightly with electrical wires. If the judge tried to break free, the remote bomb under the desk would explode instantly. Belle gave him no chance to beg for mercy. Just as he had once denied her a voice in court, Belle calmly boarded a bus and took out her phone to trigger the bomb. The lawyer who helped the killer escape justice was later found drowned in a swimming pool. Even more satisfying was that the 2 prosecutors had also been burned to death. But that was only the beginning of Belle's revenge. On the day her family was killed, Belle had also been knocked to the ground, but she stood back up, driven by sheer vengeance. Yet the most devastating part was, she felt no pleasure from her revenge, nor any will to keep living. Her whole world felt hollowed out. All sounds and colors were replaced by suffocating blood and emptiness. She had completed her revenge but forever lost the one, the little figure who once walked home with her. When the sheriff arrived, he found Belle gravely injured and unconscious, so he immediately called an ambulance. When Belle awoke from her coma, she found her wrists tightly handcuffed, and the sheriff slowly approached her. As a law enforcer, he couldn't publicly help Belle, but that didn't mean he couldn't help her in secret.
Hope you get better soon.
At that moment, law and justice had come full circle. Revenge paid in blood had earned a different kind of justice.